Hey SER peeps, James Hamby, your qualifying broker, president, CEO, all that good garbage we have titled to my name. I want to touch base with you today and talk a little bit about an email I sent out a couple weeks ago. I want to talk to you about these appraisals that are coming in today that a buyer decides he's going to make an offer, say, kind of list price of $200,000, and the buyer agrees to go up, say, to $250,000 to try to win the bid, right? So we want to make sure that we understand what we're talking about when that happens. So if it's an FHA or a VA loan, you know in the loan exhibit that's deemed under number 11 to be an amandatory clause. And what that means, guys, is that if the appraisal in this case comes in at $210,000 and the buyer has agreed to pay $250,000, that buyer is actually protected by the government, because that's a super step. It's protected by the government, where if that buyer so deems to change his mind and only pay the $210,000 based upon what that FHA or VA appraisal is, he can do that. And if the seller just decides not to do that with them, that buyer can walk away and their earnest money is protected. So I want to make sure that you understand the difference between the FHA and the VA amendatory clause versus the cash, USDA, and conventional loan exhibits that's strictly under number 11, an appraisal contingency, okay? Hopefully, the buyer is going to keep their word and pay what they agreed to pay in the contract. But if for whatever reason he changes his mind, he's always protected where that earnest money is concerned. And at the end of the day, it can be negotiable too. So the good, the bad, and the ugly is simple this. If you're working with a buyer, you always got to watch after their best interest. But my agents that represent that seller, you better have that conversation with that seller up front to say what potentially may take place. We don't want the seller to be misled into thinking that that buyer is going to pay that $250,000, which he agreed to do, but that buyer is still protected because it is a government loan. I hope this makes sense. We can continue doing that way, because obviously we're seeing a lot of that happen in today's market. Now, do I think over the next several months it's going to level out? I do think it's going to level out. Interest rates are going to continue to rise up. I don't think that's always going to be the case, but I remember years and years ago when interest rates were 17, 18%. And of course that was a long time ago. But I'd be very surprised if they do not get to 6 or 7% by the end of the year. It's just my opinion. So I hope this information has been helpful for you. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to Ryan or myself, and we're happy to help you with that. But just keep all that in mind. Remember, you're always watching after the best interests of our clients, and make sure you're always telling them the good, the bad, and the ugly. That way they can make the proper decision on which way they need to go when they're choosing to either go with offer A or offer B. All right, guys, you enjoy your day. It's a great week, beautiful spring day. I appreciate you, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks so much.